fans, to your speeding bulletin for the week September 20th to September 26, 2013. A week in which David Goyer discussed the controversial ending to Man of Steel, Tony Bedard spoke about his plans for Supergirl, and the Scribblenauts Unmasked, the DC Comics adventure video game, was released. Let's jump in and take a look at these stories and more. In movie news, speaking at this week's BATFA and BFI screenwriters lecture, writer David Goyer discussed Man of Steel and the decision to have Superman kill General Zod at the end of the film. He said, "Our movie was in a way Superman Begins. He's not really Superman until the end of the film. We wanted him to have had that experience of having taken a life and carried that through onto the next film. Because he's Superman and because people idolize him, he will have to hold himself to a higher standard." David Goyer then told the Associated Press in London that he won't be influenced by the opinions of fans when it comes to completing the script for the upcoming Superman-Batman movie.
We're conscious of that when you're working on these things, but you can't let yourself be paralyzed by that. At the end of the day, you still have to create something, and if you try to think about, well, what would the fans like or what would the audience like, then you stop being creative, and it's sort of like, where does it end?
With the as yet untitled movie being referred to across the internet as Batman vs Superman, who does David Goyer personally think would win in a fight between the two superheroes? Have a listen.
Most comic book purists would say Batman because he's the ultimate strategist. Even though it makes no sense whatsoever, if Superman just flicked his finger, Batman would be done for. But I don't know. You'll have to watch the film in a year and a half or whatnot when it comes out to see what happens.
In an extra scene from Necessary Evil, Supervillains of DC Comics, Jeff Johns discusses the unique character of Superboy Prime, an alternate universe character who made a truly heroic sacrifice, only to later evolve into a destructive villain. Necessary Evil, Supervillains of DC Comics is an upcoming feature-length documentary that examines the villains of the DC universe. Pre-order it now from our online store on Blu-ray and DVD for its October 25th release. There's no TV news this week, so straight into comics. Set to start his run as the new artist on Action Comics in November, Aaron Kuder spoke with comicbookresources.com about writing and drawing this week's Superman 23.4 Parasite issue, his thoughts on drawing Superman, and what his plans are moving forward. He said, "I approach drawing superheroes mostly the same way I would approach drawing anything. Focus on the character, the story, and try to give people something that makes them go, oh cool, and then try to push to its limits." Newsarama.com conducted an interview with comic book writer Tony Bedard to find out what his plans are for Supergirl when he takes over the title with issue 26 in December. He said, "I want to be true to her roots and yet surprise readers every month by showing what makes Kara Zor-El unique in the Superman universe." Superman comic books we reviewed this week included Action Comics 23.3, Lex Luthor #1, which was reviewed by Michael Bailey, who gave it a 5 out of 5, saying, "All in all, this was a fun story that will hopefully serve as the start of a new era for Lex." Superman 23.3, Hell #1, was reviewed by Adam DeChanel, who said, "The story is a paradox," and he gave it a 1 out of 5. Michael J. Petty reviewed Justice League 23.3, Dial E #1, giving it a 1 out of 5, saying, "I did not like this story, it's not relevant to Justice League as far as I can see." Teen Titans 23.2, Deathstroke #1, was reviewed by Keith Summerer, who said, "This book read like a 90s Wildstorm comic, and not a good one either," and he also gave it a 1 out of 5. T.A. Hewitt reviewed Injustice Gods Among Us Chapter 36, giving it a 2 out of 5, saying, "What happened? There was so much promise." Smallville Season 11 Chapter 65 was reviewed by Mark Pritchard, who said, "I'm intensely curious to see how Miller draws this one to a close," and he gave it a 4 out of 5. And Sean Morrissey reviewed Adventures of Superman Chapter 21, giving it a 4 out of 5, saying, "If Tonya's story was fleshed out a bit more, it would have been a 5. Superman comics and other products available this week from September 25th include Adventures of Superman Chapter 22, digital comic, has been available since September 23rd. Action Comics 23.4, Metallo, is available in a 3D cover. Adventures of Superman #5, print edition. Batman Superman #2, second printing. Batman Superman 3.1 Doomsday is also available in a 3D cover. Injustice Gods Among Us #9, print edition. Justice League 23.4 Secret Society is also available in a 3D cover. Superman 23.4 Parasite is also available on a 3D cover. Smallville Season 11 Chapter 66 digital comic will be available September 27. Justice League 2.0 Chapter 4 digital comic will be available September 28th. Justice League Volume 2 The Villain's Journey trade paperback. Justice League Volume 3 Throne of Atlantis hardcover. DC Comics Bombshells Supergirl statue. And DC The New 52 Trinity War action figure box set. Button it up, zip it up, and stay warm in your Superman jacket. A variety of sizes and styles available for women, men, and children. Grab the Superman men's costume hooded sweatshirt from $23.99. What about this red Smallville leather jacket for $139? These and other great Superman jackets are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. Other news: to celebrate the upcoming home entertainment release of Man of Steel on November 12th and the 75th anniversary of Superman, Warner Bros. Home Entertainment and DC Entertainment are displaying original costumes from the Superman franchise at conventions and fairs around the USA. You'll be able to see them at the State Fair of Texas at the moment, at MetLife Stadium, and New York Comic Con throughout October. Check the website for updates. Scribblenauts Unmasked, a DC Comics adventure, melds the boundless creativity of the award-winning video game franchise with thousands of DC Comics characters and objects across DC Comics worlds, all drawn in the classic Scribblenauts art style. Created and developed by Fifth Cell, the game is available today for the Wii U system, Nintendo 3DS handheld system, and PCs. Grab yours from the Superman homepage online store now. Tying into the game's launch, the Scribblenauts Unmasked digital comic book will feature a number of parodies and homages to classic DC Comics book covers, including Action Comics #1 and Crisis on Infinite Earths #7. Episode 105 of Radio KAL, the monthly podcast of the Superman homepage, is now available to listen to. In this episode, Scotty and I discuss the Justin Bieber prank, casting auditions, Warner Bros. Plans for more DC movies, Man of Steel in Japan, Henry Cavill on Sesame Street, Villains Month comic books, Canada's Superman tributes, and much more. Listen to it now at supermanhomepage.com/radio. And that's all the Superman news there was for the week September 20th to September 26th. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jack Ryder Show. Listen to me, friends. If you think that my beard is growing because I'm lazy, woke up late this morning, didn't have time to shave, or possibly my razor blades weren't sharp enough, then let me tell you this, friends. You are wrong.
We've barely...
Good day, everyone. I'm Jack Ryder, and good for you that you're watching. If you think that I'm a bit of a creep, you are wrong. And not only are you wrong about that, friends, not only are you wrong about my beard, but if you thought that my peer, Scotty V, on his show last week told you the truth about Darkseid and Sylvester Stallone, well, friends, you're wrong. Let me say that to you a different way. You are wrong. And I am so happy to be the one to tell you how wrong you are. I don't do it very often, but when Jack Ryder knows something and knows how wrong you are, he's going to make sure you know about it. Scotty V is a hack from Nowheresville. That's right. He's a no-talent hack. He's somebody who shouldn't even be allowed in the room when anyone else is there, let alone trying to report to you on the new upcoming Man of Steel or Batman Superman or Combined World's Finest Movie or whatever it is. Not only are you wrong, all of you who believed this maniac, but Scotty V, I'm here to tell you, you are wrong.
And do I creep you?
Now, while the truth is, not to give him any extra credit where it isn't needed. But he did put a little disclaimer at the end of his story last week. That let all of you fools know that, no, Sylvester Stallone hasn't actually been approached for any role. But if you're going to go and read any story, or listen to any story, or listen to any program like mine, but not take the word from me, then you are wrong. And you're so wrong, but you don't even know how wrong you are. I'm Jack Ryder. I know what's right, and I know what's wrong. And friends, you are wrong. See, Scotty V was playing a little prank on you all last week, hoping that somehow the multimedia conglomerates out in the ethosphere would pick up on his story, just like they picked up on all the false stories from all the other false websites out there that put out stories about Robin and Jimmy Olsen and Bieber and Matt Damon and Cranston and everybody else. And he was hoping to show you all the error of your ways. That anybody could say whatever they wanted, and that as long as enough people read it or got up in arms about it, that it would be all over the internets, all over the television, on every media news program available, and that we'd all suddenly think that Dark Side was going to be played by the Italian Stallion. Well, that didn't happen. And Scotty V, hoping that it would, just proves how wrong he is. Every time I shake your hand now. Let me just remind you, friends, as we close here today, that if you're going to go watch another show, if you're going to continue watching Scotty V after this travesty, if you're going to tune out of me because you don't like being talked down to, well, friends, if that's the way you feel, then you are wrong.